the channel. Sorry, my hair looks a little wild today. I just have it. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a happy Sunday morning. It is a full moon today, full moon in Leo, and that is why we are here. I am Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages around this full moon. So let's get into it. So we have the full moon in Leo. We're in Aquarius season. It kind of gives us an opportunity to really embrace the authenticity of who we are, enliven that, empower that within ourselves, like not be so afraid to put ourselves in the front and center of our life. It's not the easiest thing to do because there are a lot of changes happening, not only as a result, but just because of the nature of life. In the astrology, Pluto moved into Aquarius not too long ago. And so we're reshuffling how certain things in our life are looking. Some of it has been a process, and unfortunately with this full moon, it continues to be so. But what I like about the energy of Leo is it is putting yourself front and center in your own life, meaning that you are the person that matters most. And when we're working with these trickier, messier situations that are highlighting disconnect, unrest within our life, places that we don't like what's going on, we don't like our experience, we don't like how something is treating us. It is forcing us, again, to put ourselves first in those kind of dynamics. And as much as we might think there's going to be things on the other side of that, this is a slow, meaning like new options, new opportunities, new people coming in, which is a huge part of the process right now. We also have to be patient. And like I was saying, unfortunately or not, that was being emphasized in the astrology today, which we will get into. I like to start off with an energy cleansing, just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked, limited. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you have come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of a realignment of yourself, your mind, your body, your soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're in alignment, when we're strong in self, grounded, when we know who we are, what we want, that's really where we're able to manifest our happiness, our fulfillment, and navigate the trickier stuff, right? And I would love to help support that in whatever way possible always. Definitely hit me up if you're interested. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. Release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. Whew. All right, so Interestingly enough, in the astrology, it's been kind of quiet, which is very nice, very welcomed after, you know, the season, holiday season. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. And it's been kind of like the transits, the astrology, the tension, it's kind of been tapering off. Yes, we're still dealing with struggles, etc. There's been a lot of planets clustering, and we are seeing that in opposition to the moon today, where it heightens tension, especially on our, like, how we think of ourselves, how we feel about ourselves, how we want other people to perceive us, and how they actually are, how those situations are shaking out in our life. That's kind of where we're feeling it the most. There is some resistance in terms of things playing out, having closure, in dynamics, the way that, like, not only the way it's playing out, but the way, like, communication is flowing, because it's this push and pull energy. And I think this is really important as to why we keep getting this message of waiting, of taking our time, not moving too quickly. I love this. As I'm saying that, cosmic reflection pops out. So really making sure that you're checking in with yourself today, the next couple of days. We feel full moon energy leading up to and coming away from the actual day, the actual time. It happens today, this evening-ish, depending on where you're located, maybe early in the morning tomorrow. Like I said, it's important to make sure that we're doing our due diligence. I think that's the best way to say it. Check, and double check, and make sure that you kind of have all of your bases covered. It's important, especially with that component. I love this, overarching energy, cycles and phases. It's important with that component of, like, really seeing what's working, what's fitting, what is actually going to carry us long term versus, like, the short term gratifications or the things that just aren't as solid, aren't as grounded, because we're getting a lot of those things too, or where it might seem like a good idea on paper, but in actuality it just is not. And a lot of the cycles and phases are teaching us to, it's like I'm seeing this as like a little bit of refinement, going back to the drawing board, a little bit of refinement, going back to the drawing board. So wherever you find yourself at in this cycle today, try not to let it get you down, detour you one way or the other. If you're kind of in a low point, it's easy to believe that it's never going to end, or whatever lies we might be selling ourselves, other people are trying to sell ourselves, etc. Or even if you're at a high point, there might be some, I mean, in the astrology, we're experiencing more tension, like we're kind of needing to look at ourselves in the mirror. So that's a little tough, right? Our actions, how, maybe it's better to say, like, how our actions contribute. Jupiter is still in retrograde, and in Cancer, it can bring about a really apathetic energy, not wanting to work too hard, keeping yourself comfortable, etc. It's not good, bad, right, or wrong, right? We all do it. I love this. So Libra, finding a little bit more balance in your pursuits today. Again, wherever you find yourself on that pendulum, maybe trying to bring it back a little more center. Libra energy loves to be middle of the road. If it gets too out of balance, it's, you know, if you know any Libras, it's just a little bit wonky, right? And so that's why it's really important to kind of, especially for your own sanity, is what I'm hearing. That's a lot of, like, what we're dealing with. Hold on, go that way. Thank you. Sorry. That's a lot of, like, what we're dealing with is, like, finding that balance again through, it's okay, through the things that maybe have triggered us, right? Okay, I love this. This is all about exactly what I was saying earlier, you empowering yourself, you kind of being in the fullness of your energy, letting your proverbial light shine, or just, like, you know, this is like stepping into your power in a more authentic way, in a more realistic way, not the fluffy, not the you know, like like I was talking about, the affirmation from outside. It's not that like, oh my gosh, you're so great, I love you. It's not that. It's about how you feel about you and the things that you're doing for you. And the thing about this right now is it means that we have to stand up to certain people and situations that don't want us to be ourselves or have been threatened by that, right? And have done certain things throughout these cycles to try to keep us down, put us down, etc. And that's where that push-pull tension comes into play that I was talking about, where it's like someone might be, you know, energetically kicking us down, but then they're trying to help us up at the same time, right? Like they don't want us to feel good, but they also want us around, that type of vibe. And that's where it's forcing you to, Libra represents partnership as well. So connect with partnerships that allow this quote unquote light to shine, or allow you to be who you authentically are, right? Not those people, situations that pigeon-toe us into their box, their agenda. And, you know, I love this. Uranus, it's a rebellious energy. It's kind of like rebelling against the norm. And that's definitely the energy I'm picking up for you today. And not only just today, but also as you're moving throughout this week. It's setting the stage for what is to come. What I love about full moons is, yes, heightened energy. Yes, things kind of pop out of the woodwork that might be a little jarring or whatever, triggering. But it's also giving us that clarity and insight and into who's who, what's what, and what we need to do as a result. And then from the full moon, as we move towards the new moon, that's when we're releasing. That's when we're letting go. That's when we're cutting out the things, moving in a different direction, a more authentic direction. Like I said, Uranian energy is a little rebellious. It's change. It can be sudden change, upheaval, but it's also incredibly creative and innovative. And it governs Aquarius. So marching to the beat of your own drum, connecting with partnerships, relationships that are your hope, that are your wish fulfillment, that allow you to thrive, right? And that is so much of like the overarching theme in the astrology. So, ooh, interesting. So in our blocked energy, we get cultivate strength and Cancer. So like I was talking about, Jupiter is in Cancer. Jupiter signifies where we're getting our success, our abundance, and how it's playing out in our life. We all know like too much of a good thing can also be negative, right? Like it's great to be supported and successful and at the top of your game, but adversity keeps us grounded, it keeps us humble, whatever, right? And so there is this energy of just like making sure, well, I'm hearing this in a lot of different ways. There are some things that you still have to focus on, right? That are allowing you to kind of rebel or take a different path, make different choices that are actually things that you want to make for yourself. This week, currently, Uranus is in retrograde, but it actually goes direct. It's the first time it's going to be direct since September. So I'm hearing this as freedom. You'll have more options, more choices in front of you. Uranus in retrograde has kind of forced us to confront and deal with what is in front of us, right? Those things that like we might not want to, we want them to be over or whatever it may be, but they just are naturally there. And as a result, it makes the lessons long, you know, or just feeling like, can you turn that heat off, please? Sorry, the heater's on and I'm just like boiling. My hair is all crazy. Anyway, it's, okay, so it's making sure that we're not letting the comfortability or whatever kind of distract us from what we need to be doing for ourselves. And there still are some things that Spirit is asking you to look at, places that we are kind of resisting the change. And it might be as simply as like how we're expressing that, how we're communicating. I'm looking at Mercury tensely aspected to Uranus. Just because we're making changes for ourselves or leaving certain things behind, it doesn't mean we have to be an a-hole about it. Or we want to make sure that it's like, I'm hearing in terms of like manifestation, we want to make sure that it's out of a space of openness and surrender and willingness. Not an F you, I'm going to go do this for myself, which I know maybe sounds, well, whatever, because there are some people that we probably do want to say that to, right? But a lot of the underlying themes are about integrity, or what it actually takes for you to kind of step into this new life, into this new way of being. Ten of Swords, difficult energy, repeated mistakes, betrayal. It's our first card. It's in your environment. It definitely signifies these places that you do have to continue to strengthen yourself around. So that's what I'm hearing. Like if you're on a good end of the cycle, it might be that you're feeling good. You're feeling like you have your stuff handled, managed, etc. And sometimes that can be tricky as well. We really want to be conscious, aware of where we are at authentically, because the movements that you're going to be making, the movements that you're going to be making are going to require that strength. I'm seeing it's like you saying like, yeah, I can handle that. I can manage it. I'm ready for it, etc. And you probably can, but then there's that awareness component, right? That I was talking about. It's the difference between the fantasy and the reality, which we've been getting that message a lot in the collective of, like, I just lost it. Oh my gosh. We've been getting that message a lot in the collective about being able to integrate that. So sorry about that. Being able to integrate, okay, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I'm going after, but this is where I'm at right now. And these are the practical steps I need to make in order to kind of align with that. And that's what I'm seeing for this full moon. It's a preparation energy. We have 4 of Cups, 10 of Wands. So making sure that you're not getting too lost in like, this is unnecessary burden. You know how sometimes we just put too much on our plate, or we have too many distractions around, or whatever that may be for you. So really challenge yourself this week to kind of get things in order. We have a lot of air energy in the astrology, and that governs our mental, our mind, our intellect, our communication. There is some communication that is feeling pretty intense. Mercury is in that cluster of planets that I was talking about. It's actually like over half the planets in opposition to the full moon. And you coming in as Knight of Wands, definitely Leo energy. It's making it hard for people, situations in your environment, because Knight of Wands is known to be a little rash, make decisions that might not be looking at long-term effects. I feel like this is good for you. I'm always going to be a little bit more biased to you probably because this is your reading, right? So to me, even though maybe you're making quick decisions, quick choices, we'll see with the tarot how it fares out. But I'm seeing this more as like outside opinions don't like it, what you're choosing, what you're doing. Because Knight of Wands energy comes through, like I said, not really thinking it through. It has a components of arrogance. Please don't take it personally. It has a components of arrogance to it, like I know better. And I do feel like you're vibing out of that, but in a way that this becomes your fuel to overcome some of these things. it doesn't look like whatever that lesson is for you is over yet. You are juggling a lot that is working to your detriment right now, unfortunately. You have a lot on your plate, which also might cater to this energy of I know better. When we have a lot going on, it's hard to take a beat. It's hard to kind of process through where we're at and re-regulate. So we're making sure that we're doing what we want to be doing, right? And that's an important theme right now. Going back to that component of grounding, balance. One of our first cards out, Libra energy. Looking at the bigger picture, the overall theme. It's hard for you to do right now, but that's because of the issues around you. Someone is being very emotional and acting out of that emotion and to their detriment, to be honest. Whatever is going on in your environment around you, it's actually kind of hard to maybe take that break and think things through, or it's kind of hard to respond out of stability because of whatever's going on around here. We have Ten of Swords, the Moon, and King of Cups. So that's just someone who can't really manage their stuff, and they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's a habit. It's a pattern. Oh yeah. Hey, Cinderella. Thanks for joining. You can totally ask a question. Thank you. Thank you for your subscription. So much love. I appreciate you. Okay. Okay. Well, okay, so I don't want to do like specifically personal. Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Hold on. Well, I'll pull a card on it. I want to be mindful about this. My intention is to do an open format reading where we can ask more personal questions. I don't want to specifically get into a lot of that, but I will do it today for you because no one's here and I appreciate you. Sorry, I hope that doesn't come off rude. Just know my heart's in the right place. I'm just trying to find my own balance, right? So, okay. All right. So, I mean, I think it kind of what I'm hearing, and like, I'll kind of keep it in alignment with this reading, but I'm going to balance this out. I'm going to pull one card on this, and then I will pull, let me see. Actually, I might get a different deck for you. Okay, so Two of Swords. Okay. So let me pull out a different deck for you. Okay. Yes, no worries. It is my pleasure. I really appreciate your support to the channel. Just know that blesses my heart 100%. All right, let's look at intentions towards you. Okay. Okay, so we have Eight of Swords, mental blocks, limitations, someone struggling with their own thoughts, their own feelings. Seven of Wands. I'm seeing keeping you at arm's length while he makes whatever decisions he needs to make. Ooh, and the Tower. Okay, so especially if I don't know exactly where he's at in his life, but if he's had some difficult things go on for himself lately, he might be having a really hard time just kind of like processing through everything. Because Eight of Swords is when we are limited, restricted by our own thinking. And even if this is something that's happened between you guys, maybe big fight, whatever. And so he's on the defensive about it, right? Like, it's not saying no, it's just saying like, I don't know. He's at a time where he doesn't really know how to reach out, how to connect, how to process through what's happened. Okay. Ace of Swords. I'm seeing a conversation in regards to will he return. I'm seeing a conversation happening. You are going to have to wait, though. It's not going to be right away. Three of Wands. It's not forever. It's not going to take forever is what I should say. But Three of Wands definitely signifies that it's going to be sooner than later, you know. I'm hearing like let things die down a little bit, let the dust settle a little bit. Try to focus on yourself. You know, when I'm looking at your specific situation as it relates to this reading, like I was talking about, there's a lot of emotion, right? There's a lot of things that he needs to sift through, or to the, you know, he needs to sift through for himself. This is going to be my last card. I'm not after this, but we're getting that double confirmation on the Knight of Wands energy. Okay. So I would say to you, just give it some time to the best of your ability. Really just focus on yourself. That has been an overall theme. Even though it might be hard to have to wait, or, you know, it looks to me like there's a lot up in the air. Not a lot of the dust has settled from this, meaning there's more to communicate. There's more to talk about. And I do see those communications happening. But it's going to be a hard conversation. It's going to have to be an honest conversation. And I'm seeing he's not quite ready for that yet. Because if there is an interest in getting back together, reuniting, it's like it's up in the air is what I want to say. It's ambiguous. You know, and I think that that's where getting together and having a conversation is going to do everyone a world of good. But I don't see this being the right time right now. And even just if we kind of want to go back to the collective energy, the message is definitely wait, take your time, move slow, try not to rush things, because that's going to work in your favor right now. Right now, he just needs a little time, space to process through what's been happening for himself, right? Oh gosh. Well, then also, you know, also I would say that that is a sign in and of itself. We never want to stop living our life because someone else can't get their stuff together, unfortunately. It's a hard pill to swallow because in terms of energy, we can still be connected, especially if he thinks about you a lot. There's a lot of energetic exchange. This looks like a situation, like I said, that never got resolved. So that would make sense why there still is this connection even after 6 years. But also, I would just really encourage you, make sure to not put your life on hold because someone else is not available right now. You know, that's like almost the worst thing we can do for ourselves because life does pass us by. And I am a huge proponent of divine timing. Everything happens, manifests when it is supposed to. We might not like that, right? Like we want it to manifest at certain times, but also when we have that tendency to surrender, to let go, to let life play out, focus on our own stuff, then whatever conversation needs to happen is able to happen, right? Like it frees up the energy. It helps things to not be so restricted, so suffocated. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for all the love, all the support. Please just know that I'm wishing you just a lot of love for your heart and your situation. These things are not easy. It's really hard when we go through these tower moments and there is a lot of unresolved issues, unresolved energy. And again, I would just kind of say, like, we have to, as individuals, we have to learn how to process that within ourselves so we're not putting our life on hold, you know, and unfortunately some of that is the grief. It is the sadness. It is letting go of something that we really want to either come back together or at least have some closure, right? So I am just know I'm sending all the love. I promise. And thank you so much for the support to the channel. I am going to get back to the reading. So, all right. So back to, but we had it really interesting. I love the confirmations, even just kind of as we were talking through the collective energy. It was very similar to what Cinderella, which I love your name. It's fabulous. One of my favorite stories. But it really, you know, it is the power of collective energy, right? And it does look like, here's the thing, there's hard decisions on the table. And I pulled up Two of Swords just before we got into that. And the Two of Swords is about making those harder decisions. This actually came out this week as well in our weekly collective, where sometimes even making the hard decisions is something that we have to do. And King of Cups, Ten of Swords, the moon energy, that's not an easy energy to deal with. It's someone who's not getting the hint. It's someone who's not getting the message. And it ends up messing with you, your time, your energy, your schedule, etc. Five of Swords. And here's the thing, it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of resolve. What I'm seeing is like you are actually going to be put in a situation. Someone wants you to make a decision. We have Six of Pentacles. Someone wants you to make a decision, and I think they're going to kind of force you. That's what it looks like. It's like forcing you. There might even be some like low-key threats involved. And I'm not saying threatening your life. Please don't hear it in that extreme. Hopefully that is not your situation. If that is, please be safe. Please find a safety plan, think through a safety plan, etc. But what I'm seeing about this more is like verbal threats, right? Like, well, if you don't do this, then I'm not going to give you this, or I'm going to do this to you as a result, or whatever it may be. And I feel like that's where this strength, cultivating strength, is really important for you today, this week. Recognizing, like, again, just being really realistic with yourself and where you're at, what you think, what you feel, how this is all, you know, like, and what you want as a result. Kind of like Cinderella was saying, it would be great, you know, if we get back together, come back together, etc. But 6 years down the road, it's like, you know, I mean, how long can we wait, right? And it's not the answer that we want to hear per se, but it's the answer that helps us let go of attachment, let go of things that are actually inhibiting us and preventing us from living our life. Ayurveda has a lot to say about that. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when we're feeling very bombarded with people, places, and things all across the board. Okay, the wise one, tradition, order. So just kind of remaining consistent with yourself is what I'm hearing. I like your energy. You feel strong. You feel good. You feel like you know intuitively, even if it's something you're not ready to make peace with or ready to acknowledge within yourself, you already know. You have the wisdom. You have the strength. You have the capacity. And this is just that practice of continuing to invest in that, right? And in Ayurveda, Maharishi Ayurveda, when we are cleansing, purifying our consciousness, that means that we have to consistently transcend, right? Like we have to spend time allowing our mind, body, soul to quiet, rest, relax, so our nervous system can restore. That purifies our consciousness, and then we can go back out into activity. And we need to have balance of each, because the more we do that, the more we implement, the more we ingrain ourselves into that purified consciousness. They use this analogy, which is great. It's like dyeing a cloth, right? A yellow or I think that's the example they use. But it's like you dye it, you transcend, you lay it out in the sun to dry, your activity. And then as you go back into transcendence again, you're dyeing it again. Hey, Karen, good to see you here. Happy day. No worries at all. I'm actually just wrapping up. But just know I appreciate all the love, support. Happy full moon. I hope you're doing well today. It's a good day, good energy overall is what I'll say. Like there really is this vibe of feeling good, strong, empowered in self, the wise one. Like I was just talking about, it's wisdom that you've already have, that you've gained, and that's actually helping you move along. We're still kind of weeding out some of this old energy, and that's where the practice of consistency, like I was talking about, is so important, is so instrumental. Like I said, the more we dye that cloth, the deeper, the richer the color is going to become. The more our consciousness is cleansed, so to speak, the better we're able to handle the thief. I didn't even see that. Seizing the moment, selfishness, right? You know who and what this thief is in your life right now. And I think that that's kind of where I'm hearing it's like, you can't necessarily, it's not, well, I don't know if that's the way to say it. Let me think on this a little bit. Well, you do have the ability. You do have the ability to outsmart whatever this is. There might need to be some more research, some more information, knowledge that you need to gain as a result. That's also kind of been a theme. But again, all that's doing is really adding to the strength, the foundation that you're cultivating for yourself. And that really is a main theme as to why things have been taking so long. Pluto in Aquarius governs decade-long periods of life, right? So if you think about it, we're making changes for the next 20 years. So that's why like it's hard to weed out the old. It's hard to weed out what doesn't serve us. We've been going through a lot of cycles, a lot of ups and downs. We think we have it in the bag and then something else pops up. But what I'm seeing about this full moon, and this is definitely in alignment with Leo energy, is that you have the confidence. You're more confident now. And I think that's a solid thing. I think continue to invest in that confidence. Don't get too wishy-washy with that Jupiter in retrograde in Cancer energy, because that can definitely make us apathetic or make us think that we're stronger than what we are. And then when this guy pops up yet again, it just throws us off course, throws us off path. But like I said, you're getting some pushback. You're getting some strong pushback from someone, something in a way that they think if they do X, Y, and Z, it's going to hurt you enough, or it's going to wake you up enough so that you're going to comply with them and what they want. And in reality, like, you've kind of overcome some of this stuff. I think there are decisions on the table that you're going to have to think through. And this is partially because of how this gets communicated, that tension of Mercury and Uranus that I was talking about, whether they're trying to bully you into submission, or there's like threats or blackmail or whatever it may be, like just kind of some low vibey tactics to get what they want out of you. That's going to be the hardship, right? That's where it's really going to be. Or they could be sweet talking you on the flip side, right? Like they could be sweet talking you. Maybe they're sweet talking you first and you have to sift through the bullshit. And then once you do, it's like, oh, actually, no, their true colors are revealed when they start trying to get aggressive or bully or create a fight or whatever it may be. And again, I think you're aware of a lot of these dynamics, but it's continuing to invest, continuing to cultivate your strength, continuing to move forward and empower yourself through the process. That's the beauty of Leo energy. It is all about me, right? So make it all about yourself today. Make it all about yourself for the next couple days. It doesn't mean you have to be a selfish a-hole, right? Like we can still put ourselves first while honoring other people around us. Not that I'm saying you wouldn't. I don't really get that vibe, especially if you're at this channel. So thank you so much for your time, energy always. Thank you for popping in, Karen. Thank you, Cinderella. It was so great to see you guys. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. It always blesses my heart. I would love to hear if the messages resonate. I hope they do. Definitely drop comments below. I love to connect. I love to just cultivate community. I think it's a beautiful and powerful thing, and I appreciate all that you guys bring my way. So no, it blesses my heart. Sending love and blessings back to you. Happy full moon. I will see you guys tomorrow for the weekly. Have a great one. Oops.